Hello and welcome to Pulp Picks, your weekly comic book reading recommendation show from us here at Pulp Comics and Games in Mankato. I'm Patrick.
I'm Sarah.
And we're flying without Fritz today because the snow was flying a little bit and mostly icy, and the roads from New Ulm are a little treacherous this morning. And we like Fritz and we want him to stay alive, so he's going to try to come in a little later after it gets nicer out. But Sarah, what do you have for your pulp pick this week?
All right. Now, I know you're all going to be shocked. It isn't I Hate Fairyland, although that is worth an honorable mention.
Yes.
Because, again, Scotty Young just kills it with that book. If you have kids who don't want to take baths, it's an interesting issue in that regard. But I did go with Batman Beyond the White Knight, number 8. Sean Murphy just, again, continues to knock his own Batman universe out of the park. The artwork is astonishing. I don't have enough good things to say about this book, but this is like the last chapter of this particular piece of it is going to continue in a new book, Batman the White Knight, Joker generation. So it's all about Jack Napier, the Joker's kids. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But this one ties up things nicely. The Bat family is finally back working together. Bruce is ready to once again don the cape and the cowl, which he's been like vehemently against. If you're following along with the journey, you'll understand why. But I'm really excited to see what Sean Murphy does with this world. If you read, I always read the Beyond the Pages because he always has really insightful information just about the choices he made, he and his creative team, but they're going to be he's going to specifically be creating his own version of the Justice League for this world that he's made. So I'm really excited to see, he's taking a little bit of a break to write his own Zorro book.
Yes, I saw he bought the rights to Zorro.
So, but he'll be back. Joker Generation, I believe, launches in May. And then I assume Justice League will follow shortly after that. But this sets it up really nicely without giving too much away. You're introduced to some characters that you will recognize, but as he so lovingly flips it in his own way, in a way that's familiar, but not quite exactly how you'd expect to see them. And so it's a really solid read. If you haven't been keeping up with it, I highly recommend it. He and his wife have been kind of sharing the story. So I know Joker Generation, she actually will be telling that story.
That's cool.
And she had done the Harley Quinn as well. So very excited to see where that goes. It's just kind of cool for them to be, in this collaborative process together.
Yeah.
So what about you, Patrick? What'd you pick?
Well, I picked the long awaited Swamp Thing Green Hell number 2. This number 1 came out months and months and months ago, and then number 2 kept getting pushed back. And, I know things happen, so we're just kind of poking a little fun at the fact that there's been a big break between the two. Good news is that if you didn't get a chance to read number 1, we've still got copies of number 1. Even though it was a really good seller, we knew that this was going to be a great book and a lot of people would like them. So number 2, I almost feel like I should do a refresher for the people who read it, but for those of you who didn't, that would be kind of a detrimental thing to do. The gist of it is this is another one of those books where it's in the future, the not too terribly distant future. Mm-hmm. Humanity has ruined the planet, and so there's everything is out of balance. Nature is out of balance, and now nature is considering whether or not people should even get much of a chance anymore. So you're seeing kind of this last little outpost, small village of people, and then there are some marauders. The water levels are rising, so they're living on what's left of a mountain, and the marauders are living on like an oil rig. And it's kind of Walking Dead meets Waterworld, and then throw in Swamp Thing, and this cover totally gives away the fact that Constantine, old man Constantine, is showing up too. So really good. There's magic, there's mysticism, there's Swamp Thing, there's Constantine. Anytime you get those two together, it's always contentious and good. It's beautifully drawn by Doug Mahnke, Minnesota's own Doug Mahnke. Does an amazing job on the art. It's in that magazine-sized black label format, prestige format, I think some people call it. And it's a beautiful book. It's well written. The storyline moves along really well. And now we're starting to get some of that angsty Swamp Thing's pull in two different directions, you know. He's got responsibility, but he's got, you know, his own personal goals and ambitions, and that's classic Swamp Thing, you know. So yeah, it was really, really good. And like I said, if you missed issue number 1, we've still got a number of copies available, so you can pick up number 1 and number 2. And if you're planning on picking up number 2, it's been months, so I would recommend at least flipping through number 1 to try to remember where it was, because it has been a really long time. But I am grateful that they didn't just cancel it, because it is really a lot of fun to read. So, well, that's it for today. Oh, you know, I should throw in my honorable mention is Iron Man. I was really worried when Christopher Cantwell left that book, but it's been really solid so far, and now the plot thickens in this issue, so that's a good one too. So if you're looking for another book, anyway, all right. Well, that's what we do every week. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can continue to see the upcoming weeks. Fritz will be back hopefully next week. Fingers crossed that the roads are nice by then. And follow us on social media. It's Pulp CG, as in comics games. And visit our website, pulpcg.com. And we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
I think there was one where you said something about like he had bad lunch meat or something. I feel like I remember watching
he did.
one.
He did
like that.
He did what?